Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 what the fuck is out there, everybody out there on the YouTube show? It's a good boy, Papa Tico, coming to you live from another ADVJapan channel. Part of me thinks, why do I do this, Why do I, every week on a Wednesday, why do I release this, video series that, for the last year or so, only gets 200 views? Obviously, only a very, very small group of an already small group like these videos. Why should I even bother making them, because it's like with the motorcycle videos, there was a time in my life where I was on my motorcycle almost every day, so I thought, why not make why not make YouTube content out of it? I mean, YouTube content for me has always been something where it's like, I'm as a result of doing other things. Like, for example, I was riding my motorcycle everywhere, so why not make motorcycle videos? Same thing with the reaction videos, like, I'm already curious and wanting to watch YouTube videos about Japan by people who live here, so why not make, content where I'm reacting and giving an opinion about that, and like, same thing for like the food series and the game series that I have, where it's like, I'm already gonna be like, I want to hang out with my buddies and just play some video games and shit, right? So it's like, why not record that and like have because like sometimes we have some really interesting discussions while we're doing this, and also, it's good content. I mean, like, it might not be the best content, but it's something that shows you just like a really chill session, like, one of the reasons I like the game videos is because, unlike a live stream, we're not constantly interrupted by people that want to join the conversation. There's like, for example, there's like Cheap Gamer, I forgot his name, Cheap Gamer guy or something, and Cheapy Games or something. He used to live in Japan, now he lives in America, and he does a podcast like once a week with his buddies while they're doing it live, and they can see the chat, but they don't interact with it. But when you type in the chat, you see them react, but they're not gonna like react to the, like, they're not gonna respond to it, I guess you could say. And it's like, what's the fucking point, right? Like, you want like an unfiltered like hangout response kind of thing. But anyway, again, like, this is like, YouTube's more about like cathartic feelies for me than like views or money, but at the same time, it's I was watching God, I'm gonna go into like a big rant about a bunch of random stuff. This is another rant where I didn't, up until this month, I would just make thumbnails of like topics I was interested in talking about, and then I would pick one video and then talk about that or whatever, right? And but unlike those months, this month in particular, I'm just spitballing and free throwing, and then I'm gonna pick the title after I after I get done recording it. So it's just kind of like we're freestyling. We're freestyling right now. We're spitballing. But yeah. Anyway, how's it going, guys? Are you hanging out? Are you chilling? Yeah, today's gonna be just one of those days. Let me just do self promo really quick. For any of you guys who come over here and you want to help support the channel, help support the growth, please go over to patreon.com/TKOSam. There's a bunch of different bonuses there. And, God, like, I don't want to, like, shout this out too much. Or, I mean, I need to shout it out. I need to shout it out every time regardless. But I don't want to dwell on it or make it so long. Like, I used to like watching the Quarterings videos. And now, like, half of his videos are him just talking about how he has no money and how he needs to, like, have you sign up for his coffee brand coffee. And, like, that's, like, half the video. And I'm like, dude, like, I've seen your analytics. You were making easily, like, 80 grand a month for a couple years in a row. Like, where did all your money go? He's like, we're broke, And I'm like, God, dude, if I had your kind of money, I would have been living like a monk and just putting all that money away. Like, what the fuck have you been? Why do you need to shell out your fucking cash? Like, why do you need to like spend like 5 whole minutes out of like a 10-minute video talking about like your stupid products? Just like get it over with. Like, the people that want to support you will support you, and the people that don't are just gonna get annoyed that you're dragging it on for too long. You dumb fuck. Dad, are you done with the ad read yet? Shut up, son. Shut your whore mouth. Anyway, you guys get what I mean, right? So, anyway, yeah. The point is, go over to Patreon. You get a bunch of bonus shit. You know what's up there. Japanese lessons, packages from me, etc., etc. And, if you don't want to support me over there, then just throw me a super chat, throw me a super thanks. Because it really helps. Become a member by pushing that join button. And speaking of badass motherfuckers who I respect who have big balls, big shout out to this big boy of the week. Yeah, that guy has giant titanium New York balls and Steens for sure and Stein. Yeah, thank you. Thank you always for the love and support, guys. Yeah, I still need to shout this shit out. I gotta shout it out in the for my other type of videos too. I gotta remember that. I always get so caught up in the video and then I'm like, yes, it's done. And I don't bother putting like advertisements or whatever at the end of the video. But it's okay because I only have like 1 month's of video kind of backlogged at the moment. So, for all of my videos. So like, maybe next month that won't happen. But the month after that, I'll definitely start including that more. Because I do shout out the Patreon and the memberships in each vlog. But like, giving particular shout-outs for people who do super chats. I gotta start doing that more. God, like, I saw that Nomadic Push guy, and, like, every fucking video, there's just people donating to him in his comment section. I'm so jealous. Like, I have no problem admitting I'm jealous. Like, I wish people were doing that. But, like, he's actually homeless, like, that's his whole spiel, and I don't want to be homeless. So, you gotta wish in one hand, shit in the other kind of thing, right? But even if you guys don't want to throw money at me, you can always help me out by leaving a comment and smashing the like button. I guess the comment of the day is, why are you gay? Why are you gay? Who is gay? You are gay. I guess the question is, do you guys live in like, are the people around you like loud and political and annoying, or are they like, what's going on, No, I don't know, man. Like, I always ask, like, every fucking video I ask you guys a question, and there's literally 2 people that comment. That we get anywhere from, like, 200 views to 1,000 views per video, and you guys never comment. You never comment. Like, I think that's the problem that, like, a lot of YouTubers get, like, they get hooked in, like, ego-wise. Like, they'll see that, oh my god. They'll see that, like, they'll be trying to put out, like, good, or at least what they qualify as good quality content, or at least, like, having chutzpah, having some integrity, some virtue to their stuff, but then they get no engagement, and so then they just slide down the pole of, like, drama and gossip and just, like, really low-hanging beta male style, like, videos, and then they get tons of engagement because people love drama, because most people are retarded dumbasses who don't have any shit going on in their lives, so they need a distraction. But I'm not going down that path, I might have gone down that a little bit at one point, but I'm not going down there again. And even then, I never made full-on drama videos. There's somebody in Japan who loved to make drama videos back in the day, and he would go full Keemstar, and I'm not that, even when I made quote-unquote drama videos, people never actually watched them. If they had watched them, it was never, like, just talking shit and spreading lies. It was just mostly me observing the videos, and then giving a critique about it, but everyone would just see the thumbnail and assume I was talking shit, because they were lazy assholes who just jumped to conclusions, and, yeah, so, but I mean, even then, though, like, that's still low-hanging fruit that you're baiting people to think that you're going to talk shit about people. And I'm not going to do that, Like, I don't need to do that. It's like, God, I was watching a fucking Logan Paul music video. Logan Paul released a video today, and I was like, I'm not going to watch the video, but let me go check out his channel. I'm curious, like, you know, why did I used to watch this guy and stuff? And then, like, I see videos from, like, 2017, and I'm like, damn, this is, like, what, 6-7 years ago? And I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, wow, you know, like, that was a totally different era of YouTube when not many people were doing YouTube. And it's funny because it's like, why weren't people doing YouTube then, you know? Like, it seems like more... Well, I mean, also, YouTube's algorithm is really pushing people... like, they're pushing a lot of smaller channels these days. Like, I see a lot more smaller channels being recommended to me on the home button than it used to be just high production value shit, you know, kind of thing. It's nice, you know, it's nice to see that, like, YouTube's pushing out smaller people that's, like, amateur-style videos. But, I mean, like, that's always been going on, though. Like, that was never a thing that just stopped or something. It's just YouTube didn't push that stuff for a while. You had to go actively search and find it out. And a lot of people didn't do that. So, yeah, you're you know, bitch-ass motherfucker. Yeah, you cock that. Cock it again. Yeah, that's right. Come with me if you want to live. Anyway, I don't know. It's all fucking stupid bullshit. The point is just like, look, I accept the fact that nobody's gonna comment, but I'm gonna still ask you guys in each video, hey, what do you think about this? You know, what's the deal with airline food? I'm gay. Yeah. Anyway, I'm watching a video right now. And there's a live stream of Kagoshima, and Kagoshima's in, where is this? It's in Kyushu, and, yeah, where is it? It's in Kyushu, and there's an island. I forgot. Tokyo Lens did a really good video on that place a while ago, but I forgot the name. Maybe it's Sakurajima or something. There's an island off of Kagoshima where there's like a volcano or something, and people live on that island, even though it erupts all the time. But it doesn't erupt with like lava, it just erupts with ash. And so people have to wear like masks and stuff so they don't breathe in the ash. And there's a live stream of showing from the mainland to the island on YouTube. And if you guys just type in Japan live stream Kagoshima, you'll find it. And it's really cool because it's like 7:35 a.m. right now. I wanted to start, you know, I woke up at 5:30, so I've been awake for like 2 hours already. And I wanted to record this rant earlier, but Kurt Softy Papa, another Japan YouTuber, a longtime YouTuber, he was streaming. And I really like his morning streams. I really, really like him. So I got caught up watching that. And so I'm a little late to record this, but I watched this guy called Japan Live Cam, and his YouTube name is Armchair Traveler, and he just shows like a blend of live streams that are happening in Japan, and then there's another live stream where he's showing all these live streams around the world. And I really like his Japan live streams because it introduces me to new live stream. It's just webcams. It's just like outdoor security camera style webcams that just show you different parts of Japan. And when I work at home, which is a lot, I like to have, like, you know, like where I live, there's not really like a lot of scenery. Like, I don't live in a very big high-rise apartment or something. Like, I mean, that's the goal. That would be nice. If Uncle Festus died and gave me $1 million or something, I'd try to, well, I probably wouldn't even be able to buy it, but I'd try to at least rent an apartment where it was a high-rise where I could just see a big view of the city. Like, I would just go out on my balcony and I'd work every day on my laptop and just, like, drink coffee and just look at the view. Like, I would love that. But in the meantime, I don't have that, so I just have I have 2 big TVs in front of me, so, yeah, I just watch the webcam of like some kind of Japan stuff happening in the background while I work. It's funny because I actually have 4 screens. I don't know about you guys. For any of you guys who, even if you don't work at home, I'm guessing a lot of you guys have computer setups. I know that the one girl who watches me, Deep, my mod, she's a girl boy. She's an honorary boy. She probably has a computer setup. at her house. I know that like a lot of younger people, they just have phones or whatever and they don't use computers, but I really like my I don't know, I like my computer setup. I used to have a desktop, but then it shit on me. And I mean, that always happens. It's like it's either the video card, the RAM, or the motherboard. And then I have no, like, the only way to test that stuff to see which one failed was to put it into a similar computer and just do, like, you know, whatchamacallit, like, do a trial and error, like, miss and match, you know, try to see which one is wrong. But if you don't have any other hardware to test it out, you can't really see what part fucked up. So I've just been using my laptop. My old laptop I bought like 8 years ago, which surprisingly still works fine. I mean, I think one of the reasons why is that I don't push it too hard, you know, and I take care of it, you know. I have like a little fan system underneath it that keeps it constantly cooled, and you know, laptops are like cars. Well, I don't know if it's like cars, but it's like for idling, you know, it's better if you keep your engine running the whole time versus just turning it on, turning it off all the time. And yeah, for the laptop, it's just been in sleep mode for like the last like 8 years. I haven't really turned it off, but yeah, you know, it's nice. It's cool. But anyway, I mean, the point is that I've got these two TVs that I bought really cheap. I spent probably less than $500 on both of them. Yeah, probably less than $400 on both of them. And then I have like a tablet. So I got my laptop screen. I've got two big computer screens. One's hooked up to the PS4. The other one's just hooked up to the laptop. And then I've got a tablet next to me that's constantly showing the webcams and stuff. And yeah, so like two of the screens are just showing background footage. And then, yeah, because people ask me, like, how can you stay at your house so much? You know, like, don't you ever get bored? And that's the thing. It's like, if you make your house interesting, it's not really, I mean, I live in a very small apartment, you know, by America or other people. I don't know about Europe or anything, but by other people's standards, my apartment's really small. But for me, I'm so used to, like, I mean, I grew up poor, so I never really had that much space anyway. But, you know, for me, this is more than enough. You know, like, this is more than enough. It's fine. You know, this isn't a big deal for me to live like this, you know. And so, like, I have more than enough space. So I'm not complaining at all. But, you know, it makes places like this more bearable because it's just, like, I always have something to look at. I always have something to like, if I didn't have, like, internet, if I didn't have a computer, then yes, this would be a very boring place and I'd want to leave probably more often. But, I mean, like, that's the great thing. It's like, you know, in a way, like, I'm very grateful that I've set up my jobs so I don't really need to go outside that much. Like, I can just, like, you know, I've been really lucky. Like, recently, some of my private students, they're just, like, they're too busy. They're too busy to meet up, but they still want to do the lessons. And I was like, well, we could do Zoom or something. And I'm still getting paid the same that I would have gotten paid to go meet them in person. And it's so funny because, like, when I was younger, like, I got paid less to go meet people in person. And now it's just, like, I don't know, man. Like, I think it is a very much older guy kind of mentality. Because, like, when you're older, you're just like, I'm not commuting to go see you for, like, 1 hour. I mean, like, that's, like, a rule I have with my private students is that they all have to come to me. I don't go to them. So, like, you know, not to my house, but, like, to Shinjuku. And so, like, I don't mind jumping, like, you know, like, what is it? Like, sometimes what I'll do, if I'm really busy with other work that day, I'll just jump in a taxi and spend, like, $5 to go and get them. And, like, I love it. It's, like, real world fast travel or whatever, you know, Skyrim, you know, you just click on the menu and all of a sudden you teleport there. And, like, people are like, oh, my God, you wasted $5 to go and to see that guy. And I'm like, well, I'm walking back home afterwards, but also... you know, I made $100. Like, I made $100 for that 1 hour. So, like, $5 just to get there and, like, not have to bust my ass to get there, and then I can take my time going home. Like, that's money I'm okay with spending. You know, like, it's a very, like, poor guy's mentality when you're like, I forgot where I read this, but it was something like, you know, if you have the choice between buying bread for like $1, like if you're like a traveling youth hostel guy and you're trying to save money or whatever, by like just pitching pennies. It's like if you have the choice of like spend $1 on a loaf of bread or walk 30 minutes to save 30 cents on a loaf of bread, just buy the fucking $1 loaf of bread. Like, you know, like time is money. Like, you know, and it's like, well, you could have gotten exercise or whatever, blah 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 blah. Like it's not that bad to save money, but it's like, yeah, but if you have other things that are important that you're working on, then yeah, time is money. Time is a factor, and that's the thing. It's like it's a very poor man's mentality where it's like they accept being paid for very low amounts, and then they let people disrespect their time. And like that's the thing. It's like, you know, being an English teacher, it's not that complicated. You know, it's not a brain surgeon type, like, very serious fucking job. I always say brain surgery because it's like, yeah, like, you fuck up one little nick and then you beep, you know, they're all dead. So it's like, you know, but at the same time, it's like English teaching is, it can be a really fun and good and rewarding job, and it can pay well, but you need to respect your time, and you need to, like, you need to have confidence that you're a good teacher. And for me, it's like, I started doing this maybe 2-3 years ago, where I take a video of the person because like most of my students, they stay my students for a couple years, you know, like they, I'm always looking for new students, but the students that I have, like, it's not like a 1 month, 2 month thing. Like, they usually stay with me for a couple years, and so I always take a video of them talking at the beginning, and then I'll take a video of them like a year later. And then I show that to new students or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, like, look at how shitty this guy sucked at talking. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, the whole point is that, like, if you believe that you are worthy of having your talents respected for money, then you're gonna, like, it's like that Oprah, the secret attraction or whatever it is, like the secret, what was it called? Law of attraction shit. It's like that stuff will, like, it'll come to you. You know, it's like that Rick and Morty episode where he pushes the button and, like, it's like whatever you want, it'll come, and then he, like, pushes that button, and all these redheads come over to his house, and I don't know, that's pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, it's just yeah, like, you know, there's English teachers that even after like 20 years of being in Japan, they'll still be an ALT for like making like $12 an hour, and like being disrespected by, like, you know, groups of like public school kids or whatever. And then you got and like, you know, and they're working other jobs, and they married like their first girlfriend, and they hate them and stuff, you know. And then there's dudes like me, or like, I mean, there's three categories, right? There's the guys who went back to school, got a master's or a PhD, and then they became a professor at a Japanese university, where they're basically just like a glorified English teacher, that's a college level English teacher. Or they get a license, they go back to school and get a teaching license, and then they become an international school teacher. And God, like, half of that job is just kissing ass to rich people. I don't know if you guys would want to do that job. You know, so you can do that, or you work for a private school, which is very hard to get, but, I mean, Dov Trupin did it. If Dov Trupin did it, you guys can do it too. But you guys could do that, but that's very rare, and you have to move. You can't really, you're not going to be in the city. It's too competitive. You'll have to move to the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and I'm not doing that. And Dov Trupin loves buttfuck nowhere, and not me. But, or you have the third option, which is me, where it's like you just work part-time and you get paid high amounts. And there's two types of those kind of guys. There's Robert, this old guy who used to hang out with me when we would go to the, well, I'd see him at the bar that I like to go to in Iguisudani, and he was this half Japanese, half American guy. I wonder if he's still there. But yeah, he was like, he's a good chameleon. He dresses like, he looks like a normal white dude, and he's tall. And he would wear, like, he looked really good in business clothing, and so he was a corporate English teacher. He would go to these, like, you know, to the school, like, to these companies, and he would teach English for like $50 to like $100 an hour or whatever. And I used to do that too, but it's just, it's not that sucks. Like, I actually made really good money doing that, but I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where you have to dress up for it every time, and that's like a small price to pay too. Like I taught at this pharmaceutical company for like God, I don't even know, like 5+ years, and it was really good. But by the end of it though, I was getting lazy, and I would just wear like t-shirts to work and stuff, and I wasn't really looking professional. And yeah, I could understand why they they didn't care, because like there's students that legit want to learn English, and then there's students that are just learning English because their company is paying them to learn English. And so for that pharmaceutical company, they were just getting paid to learn English. Like they were getting paid overtime, and the company was paying me to teach them. But like my class, like I'm really proud of that class, because like it started off of 2 students, and then it got so popular that we had 20 students, and I couldn't do like more than like, I was like, okay, we got to split this up. We got to have at least like 10, like maximum 10 per class. And then I got to teach 2 classes per there. And then I was kind of a dick, and I told my company, I was like, look, I know you're getting paid a lot more than what I'm getting paid, and I got you 8 new students here, so I want at least $100 raise. So I was going to get $100 for those 2 hours. I was like, I want $200. And they're like, you can't do that. You can't. I was like, well, fine, I'll just quit, and that'll make you look bad. And yeah, that kind of burned my bridge with that company. But for like, 2 or 3 years, I was getting paid $200 every week just to go and teach these guys. So that was like $1,000 a month, like 2 times 4. Well, that's 800. But sometimes there would be an extra Saturday or something, right? Or not Saturday, extra Thursday. But that would be like 800 to $1,000 a month for 2 hours a week. Holy shit. And I just had to dress up in business clothing and, make sure my hair was all slicked back. But these guys, they didn't really care about learning English. They just wanted to speak English. They wanted to feel like they were learning English. But I would give them homework. They would never do it. I tried doing textbook stuff at the beginning, but they just got so bored of that. Like, so it just turned into like a big giant English discussion. It was pretty interesting. It was fun, but... Yeah, I mean, for me, it's better, like, people just want to know that you have your shit together, and that it's organized enough that they feel comfortable with it. And so for me, it's like, if Japanese people join, like, an English teaching company, like Nova or something, they usually have to sign up for, like, a year contract, or 6 months to a year contract, and like, so that's like a couple $1,000 or something, for the bigger people. And, like celebrity. I remember when Nova went down for the first time, when they went bankrupt, all these Japanese celebrities were pissed off because they had spent like $10,000, $20,000 ahead of time to give to the company as prepaid for their lessons. And yeah, I mean, like, for my classes, I'm like, you just pay a month ahead of time. You can quit whenever you want. Like, there's no, and like, but people love that. They love the idea of, and I think that's another reason why my students don't quit, is because they know they can always quit. They don't have the obligation of, like, they're like indentured servant or something, where it's like, if you don't pay off these loans, your father goes back to jail. It's nothing like that. It's just like, this is all about freedom. It's the exact opposite of going to a company. Like, you don't need to go to some formal setting where everyone else, or you're maybe surrounded by people that speak better English than you. You don't have to have that constant reminder that you're paying for this, It's cool. I like it. So, and also it's like, you got to give them options too. Like, I'm like, okay, like, for example, for like my kid Zoom classes, I charge 4,000 yen for an hour and 10 minutes. And why is it an hour and 10 minutes? It's just because, usually there's a lot of writing when you're dealing with kids, and you got to give them time, because usually it's after school and they're already tired, they're already mentally spent. So you got to give them things to work on. So you can give them things to read, and then they can answer it, or you give them stuff to copy and then they'll copy it. So it gives them a little downtime, so they're not having to constantly listen or speak. But yeah, and then like if you're like, okay, it's 4,000 yen or it's 5,000 yen a lesson, but if you pay for 4 at a time, it's 4,000 yen a lesson. So you give them the option of getting a discount, So it's already a free system, but then you give them even more of an option for a free system, right? And it's not even like a big obligation. Like, you know, the other big companies are like, well, if you sign up for 6 or 12 months, then it's a bigger discount. It's like, no. This isn't like buying a car, or like you know, like a Nord VPN subscription. You know, like let's just keep it simple. You know, and then also it's like if they give me, like if they introduce me to a new student or something, like a new student joins, I'll give them like 1 or 2 free lessons, and so that's like $100 value to them, right? And so it's just like they want to know that you have the shit together. And for me, like I constantly give I used to give like really detailed reports of the class, but then I realized most of these people don't listen to it or they don't read it. But I suggest for you guys, if you want to start doing freelance English teaching, do it through Line. Well, Line lags though, so you got to be careful though. Like it really fucking sucks for that. But if you can do it through like a Discord or like or through something that's like Line, or like I don't know, Line lags a lot. I used to use Skype, but Skype you can't use it anymore. But the whole point is that like after I do a lesson, I'll type in like, you know, like throughout the lesson I type what we're talking about or whatever, so they can go and review it later. So if the kids' parents are there, like most Japanese parents can't speak English, but they can read English. Like they, you know, most, if they're not working class people, you know, if they're actually like, you know, they graduated college and they're working like kind of an office job, most of them can read English. They just don't, like, you know, like you can't ask them to like read a book or like anything like that, but they can understand basic words, basic sentences. So you always ask them to review it with their kids, and then if they don't, it's not on you. You know, the responsibility is not on you, it's on them. So it's a good buffer. It's a good way to like kind of like be like, hey, you know, like I can only do so much. You know that other parts, you know, resting on you. But and also it's just like, you know, give it a couple months and they can check that Line chat and they see all the stuff that they've worked on up until then. It makes them feel good, you know. It's like, wow, it's like a photo album going through their whole journey of like teaching with you so far. And that's like another reason why I teach the kids with every single time a kid joins my class, I give them a notebook and I let them decorate the shit out of it. I give them stickers, I give them markers, and they go to town. And then each time they come to my class, I give them a sticker to show, well, I mean, it's hard to do it on these classes, but in you know, when I physically see them, I put a sticker in there for every single time they do attendance, and it's cool, you know, it's really, really nice, you know, it's fun. But the whole point is that you give them a tracking system, you're a clear communicator, and you gauge exactly where they are, what their goals are, and how realistically you can get there. But you also tell them that, like, you know, this is the system you have, this is what they need. And again, like, you know, if you're a charming dude, if people like you, like, you don't need to be, like, I mean, what was it? It's like KSI kind of, right? Like KSI, the YouTuber, I don't know a lot about him, but I remember he got famous because he played soccer games, right? Yeah, you British people, it's football, it's not soccer. Shut up, bitch. You guys invented the word soccer. You should use soccer more. Anyway, like, he got famous by playing soccer games, but he was the best at the soccer game. He was just entertaining and he was charming, right? And so people liked him. And so you don't need to be the best, like, most academically sound English teacher ever. I mean, you know, it's just you gotta, like, are you likable? Do you feel like you're actually like, you know, are these people actually learning? If you can give them that feeling of satisfaction, then, you know, they're gonna feel like they're getting their money's worth, you know. And it's so funny. I'm watching this fucking live stream in the background, and this volcano is just erupting, man. I know it's like a common thing over there, but like, this is just crazy. Like, it's just erupting a ton of ash into the air, and all these people just driving around like, yup, this is what happens. I wonder how, I bet I could chat GPT that later and see how often does that volcano explode. Let me get some coffee here really quick. Oh no, most of my ice is, It's funny how this kind of turned into a talk about being a successful part-time English teacher. Yeah, but Anyway, what was I trying to say before that? There's another point I wanted to grasp, and yeah, so you get discounts. You give discounts for if they introduce you to new people. As a trial lesson, I don't do free trials. Some people do that, but I don't do that. You know, they still have to pay because it's still my time. You know, and a lot of people do the free trial lesson because they want like students in bulk. But for me, I'm like, no, you have to pay. Like, it's respecting my time. It's respecting their time. I think of myself as, like, I'm not a lawyer. But, you know, if a lawyer, they'll give you a, like, the real respectable lawyers that make a lot of money, you still have to pay for a consultation, you know? It's for the guys that need, that need students, or, I mean, they need clients that they'll do the free consultation. I mean, my immigration lawyer buddy, he still charges like $50 an hour or something for the consultation, but if you get introduced to him by me, it's free, and I don't get a kickback. I just he's my friend, you know. If I can help him out, but like it's like what, I'll introduce people to him, but I'm not gonna help him move. You know what I mean? Like if it's just a phone call you need, I can make that phone call, but don't ask me to, you know, cancel everything for my whole day to go over to your storage unit to help you load stuff into a truck. I'm not going to do that for you, you know? So that's, you know, there's different ways of me help. I remember Dov Troopin, like, when he was moving out of Japan to go on his year trip to Thailand, he was like, hey, man, you know, like, why don't you come down with me? I got to go down to City Hall and immigration and all this shit, and I could use a Japanese interpreter. Because I told him I could help him out, and he's like, well, why don't you do that? And I'm like, no. And he's like, why? He's like, you do. I was like, I get paid to do that, one. And two, you've been here for so long, you should have learned Japanese by now. Let this be a reality check to you that you need to fucking buckle down and start learning Japanese, you motherfucker. Dov Troopin's one of those guys, he'll never learn Japanese. I want him to, but his mindset is not correct. You know, Japanese is something where, like, when you learn a language, like, it's different for my students, right? Because my students, they, like, they're very motivated, you know? Like, I don't take students that are not motivated. Like, it's a waste of my time, right? It's a waste of my time, it's a waste of their time. So, it's, you know, I mean, again, that's the nice thing about having your own clients, is that if you get, like, only a handful of them, then it doesn't matter about new clients. You can be picky about new clients because you're already getting all your bills and stuff paid, you know? And so anybody else that joins, it's like a bonus for you. And with that like I always have a certain amount of students that join. And of course, like, I do translation work too, right? And translation work is fun, but like I always have that as like, that's savings money, you know? Like it depends on the month, right? Like, some months I make half of the living from English teaching or translating. Like, for example, if it's like a winter vacation or summer vacation, I'll do more translation work during those months. So it you know, because all English teaching, especially for the kids, at least for like the kindergarten jobs that I do, those are on pause because it's vacation, right? So I'll take more like translation projects during that time. But in general, I usually have like my Saturday classes where I teach kids at schools, and then I have my freelance classes where I either teach them on Zoom or I go and meet them somewhere in Shinjuku, right? But and then like occasionally I'll get like a really nice juicy interpreting job. And that's another thing too, guys. Like, it's so funny. It's like, how do you freelance all this stuff? Like, again, it's like you got to figure out kind of like what kind of job and what style do you want to do that job in, you know? It's like, for me, I really hate the corporate bullshit. Like, I mean, I don't mind doing it at like part-time, like, you know, like on like a dip in, dip out basis. But like for people that do full-time kind of office work, you have to bullshit. You have to lie a lot, you know? You have to, oh yeah, no problem. Like, you can't just be blunt. Like, if you want to survive in that world, you cannot be a straight talker for the most part, you know? You have to be sensitive to people's needs. You got to worry about office gossip, you know? It's just, there's a lot of putting up a front, and I don't like that, you know? Like, I think, for me, like, my comfort level is very important, and when I can just be a blunt guy with people, and like, I mean, that's another thing too. It's just like, if you're like, I'm not in shape, you know? I'm not an in shape guy. Like, I'm fat, but it's like when you are confident in yourself and you have like that mental clarity where you don't care if you offend somebody because you're not trying to offend somebody. You're just trying to be as straightforward as you can with them, not to make, you know, but you're still like emotionally, what do you call it, EQ, like emotionally sensitive enough to pick up on stuff, not to offend people, but at the same time, you're not gonna kiss their ass either. You know, so many people are used to dealing with that kind of shit every day, and so when they see somebody like me, it's like it's a breath of fresh air. They're like, oh fuck, I can finally. But like at the same time, Japanese people, like they like the whole being able to rent a friendship kind of thing, you know? And like for them, it's like if they can put a money value on it, then there is like a border there, you know? I don't know how to put it, but it's just it's like a line in the sand, you know? And they're willing to cross it as long as they have as long as they make it. And the way they make it is with money, you know? So, oh shit, my premiere's starting. Hold on, I'm gonna put this on. Oh my god, oh my damn, oh my god, oh my damn. What's up, dudes? Okay, yeah, I just got done watching my premiere. You know, like, this is a great thing about YouTube. I mean, like, you don't need to do YouTube. You could do other things too, you know? But it's just, like, having something where it's a hobby, where you really get fulfillment out of it, and you can constantly grow. And, you know, it's funny because it's, like, people always say, like, you shouldn't be a workaholic, you know? You shouldn't be a guy who just gets obsessed with work. But for some people, like, they find purpose in their job, you know? And I mean, like, to be, like, let's think about it from, like, realistic point of view. If you don't love your job, or if you don't at least like your job, what's the point? What's the point? Like, it pays really well, or it's respectable, yeah, but, like, if you don't like it, then who cares, right? I think it's just that, for some people, like, for them to maintain a style of living, like, you know, a certain level of quality of living that, like, costs more money, like, for them, they couldn't imagine sacrificing that just to be, like, more happy, you know? It's like, it's basically everybody on Reddit, all the Japan faggots on Reddit. Yeah, like, God, dude, like, I think about, like, I only go on Reddit when it comes to looking up problems, like, for video editing or something, or, like, installing a game mod. Like, when it comes to pretty straightforward stuff, I like doing that. But, like, going on there and, like, just seeing random anonymous accounts, like, give advice, like, for, like, Japan life and shit, it's like, nah, dude, like, I don't know you. Like, I'm never gonna take advice from somebody who, at least with blogs, somebody puts themselves out there, and, like, they're building up their own voice. They're not just part of, like, a giant beehive section of, like, an echo chamber in there, you know? And it's like, never take advice from people who you don't respect, right? And it's like for me, like, there's people that I don't like, but I could still respect them, you know? There's still certain things, like, it's like, oh yeah, well, I mean, like, I remember Tony Robbins said it best when there was, like, a guy who basically pulled, like a Russian Mr. Beast or whatever, and he basically, like, stole all of Tony Robbins' stuff and translated it into Russian, and then was just using his shit without paying Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins is like, I'm freaking out, but he's like, no, wait, how can I, like, you know, what can I respect about this guy? And it's like, well, he's smart. He obviously knows that there's money worth in the advice I gave, so I can give that, like, you know, like, that's the thing, right? Like, you know, when you hate somebody, it's easier to not hate them as much as if you can find something that you can respect about them. But it's like, with Reddit accounts, it's just like, well, you know, in Japan, like, I remember I had this one guy a long time ago. I don't even remember what part of Reddit it was in, but this guy was, like, giving me shit about living in the guest house. And he's like, you sleep in a box. And he's like, I live in Chiba, and I have, like a 3-car port garage thing, and, like, you know, and he's like, I have a lawn, and I have all, and, like, basically he's saying, my life is better than yours because I own more stuff. Like, I have money to own more stuff, but it's not that I'm owning it. Like, you know, if you want me to respect you, you have all that shit while living in Tokyo. That takes some hustle. But if you're just like, well, I have a decent enough paying job and I can live in a place where it's really shitty that nobody wants to live in, where space is fucking cheap, then yeah. But I mean, like, that's not a flex to me, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, in general, too, it's like, even if I saw somebody who's rich here or whatever, like, I would respect the fact that they can afford to have all that crap, but I wouldn't respect them just for owning that stuff. I think that's like another big difference between people who live in the countryside versus living in the city. Like, when you're living in the city, you give up having the space to own shit that makes you feel better, for like, in exchange for being right where the real shit's happening, you know? I mean, like, this is so cool when you think about it. Like, I live in Shinjuku. That's like 15 minutes away from like Shibuya, Sangenjaya, where like a lot of the celebrities live in Japan. I live like like a 20-minute ride from like from the American embassy if I ever needed to go there. I live I don't know. I guess the Diet Building's kind of near that area, so like 20 minutes away from like the Ministry of, like, all the ministries, Ministry of Defense or something. You know, like, I live near like basically all of like Hollywood, politics, like everything that's like moves and shakes this country. I'm within not even 2 hours from there. I'm like 20 minutes from there, you know? Like, that's really, not that I would have anything to do with that, but it's still cool that like I get to participate like in the same like space as those people doing that. Like, that's really cool to me. And like, I love the fact that, like, I think life should be about experiences, right? And you can't really experience a lot of stuff if the only thing that fulfills you is that, like, I see all these guys and they collect stuff. Like, I found this guy today, and he was a God, I don't know his name. It's called Movies and Munchies or something, and it's this dude, and he's like 50 plus or whatever. And he's really well groomed. Like, you know, he's got great haircut, great beard cut, and he like really embraces having the white hair and stuff. But it's like he's a 58-year-old man-child who loves talking about his Funko Pop collection or something. And I don't know, man. I think Funko Pops suck. You know, like, I would love to collect like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys and shit, but like Funko Pops, that is like the most lamest of lame toys. I mean, like, you don't even get respect if you're a Funko Pop. Like, at least if you're collecting like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys or G.I. Joes, like, there's some history behind it, there's some nostalgia. But Funko Pops is like, oh yeah, like, this is a toy that they make for every new movie or you know, whatever that comes out, and it's really shittily designed, and like, I'm like, dude, you're like over 50, why are you basing your whole personality off of this shit? And it's like, yeah, this is coming from me too. Like, I guess I'm a man-child too, but at least I'm not I don't know, I feel like there's a big difference between men who base their whole personality off of like, I mean, like, mine's is like 80s nostalgia, obviously, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, the guy looks like he's dressed up to impress Minecraft kids or whatever, but no Minecraft kids would watch his shit. So it's like, what's going on here? You know? But, I don't know. I mean, I guess the whole point is like, do whatever makes you happy, but I feel like a lot of people get stuck into that way, like that mentality or that like living style of when they're not around a lot of like business or like busyness or activity, that they just like, yeah, because I mean, like, even in Chiba, like when I was in the countryside, that was the thing too. It's like you see people and they just buy stuff. And I remember I mentioned this in one of my rants earlier, but there's like a Japanese guy who I found on Kick, and he had gotten not fired, but he got laid off. Like, him and his whole department got laid off from his company. And he was talking about how it's really going to be hard for him to find a new job and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the guy speaks fluent English, you know? And he's 40 years old, and he's worked with American companies. So it's like, in the marketplace, that guy has so much value, but he doesn't see it in himself because he just accepts the narrative that since he's old, nobody gives a shit. And it's like, okay, if you're playing by the narrative that, like, you know, this is like a young man's market, and you know, it doesn't matter about your work experience because young people will work for cheaper. It's like, why not start up your own company? Or why not just work, like, I mean, like, because like the whole thing with his company is that he said it was really anal. Like, usually in a Japanese company, they wouldn't fire you. They want to they would want to keep you on. They'll just, because it's easier for them legally just to keep you on than to fire you. And so, yeah, and so it's like for his company though, like they couldn't afford them anymore, so they paid him and his team like a really nice severance. And the thing is that he couldn't claim unemployment because he's technically a Twitch streamer or like a YouTuber. And it's like, dude, you've been paying in like unemployment insurance for like 30 years. Like, just fucking, just, you know, just like, you know, because you can't claim unemployment insurance if you have another job, even if it's a part-time job. So, like, if I was him, I would just put everything on hold, you know? Like, you could still stream, you could still do YouTube, but you can pause your AdSense account, you can pause your payout fees for, like, Twitch or whatever. Like, you don't need, like, and the thing is, too, is that, like, it could be temporary. You don't need to completely shut down the account. And so, if you're only making like $500 a month or something from that shit, then just pause it, you know, get that, like, you know, if he was making, if he's like early 40s, he was making at least $5 to $6 grand a month, at least, even in Japan. So, like, and unemployment insurance is usually like 1/3 or 1/2 of what you're making. And so, like, fuck it, dude. Just quit the YouTube and kick for a while. Like, nobody, like, there was a bunch of people watching him, like 60 plus, but like nobody was interacting in the chat except me. So, I don't know. It just didn't seem like it would be worth it for him. But the whole point is that he was surrounded by all this expensive shit. And it's like, dude, you could easily sell that stuff. You've got like 5 to 10 grand worth of shit right behind you. While, like, where you're sitting, like, you could just sell, like, you could still live very comfortably, but the guy wanted to maintain his lifestyle of living in that expensive apartment, of buying that expensive shit. And I don't think there's anything wrong with aiming for that level of, like, monthly income where you could afford that stuff, but the reason why I think it's a little bit, like, you got to be cautious about that, because, you know, if you get too this is what they always say about being too comfortable, right? Like, if you get too comfortable with having that kind of, like, that lifestyle, that kind of luxury, then it's going to really hurt when that gets taken away, right? And guys like this, they probably don't do stock, you know, like, they don't invest in stocks or whatever, anything, and or maybe they do. I would hope they would have savings, but I don't know, right? I mean, like, even me, when I make, like, less than, like, $2 grand or something a month, I make sure to put at least $100 or $200 away. Like, I always want to keep into, what do you call it? Like, I always want to, I want to keep the habit of saving money. Like, anytime I get a new student or whatever, like, I don't buy anything new. I just put that extra money that I made into, like, my savings account. Like, that's all it is. Like, I try not to touch it. Like, I keep it for a rainy day kind of thing, right? And so, I don't know. I feel like I was watching Softy Papa, like I said earlier, and he's talking about how he moved back to Japan with his wife, and he was able to retire at, like, 58 or something. And it's like, how people were asking, how are you able to retire at 58? Like, how are you, like, isn't the age in Japan like 65 or something? And he was just like, look, like, when I was 30 or whatever, whenever I signed up for, like, whenever I had a full-time job, and they were like, he's like, can you just sign me up for, like, whatever 401k or whatever it is, I want to pay into it the maximum amount, you know? So it's like, what is it? So it's like, and like, I didn't ask him, but somebody else in his chat asked him, why would you do that? You know, like, you did that from early on, like, why? And, the reason why is just because he's like, well, look, if I got into the habit of having to force myself, because I mean, like, when you have, like, a Roth 401k, or I don't know, whatever, like savings, mutual savings account. I don't know what the technical term is, but when you have that kind of account where you put money away and then your company matches you every month or whatever, and I think when you change jobs, you can move that over to the other company or something. I've never been in that situation, so I don't know how that works, but he was like, I always just paid the maximum amount, and I got used to living with like, every month on the salary that I had after I put, like, you know, after I put all that stuff, like, maximum into there and stuff. So he's like, yeah, so, like, after, like, 30 years of working, even all these different jobs, like, I saw, like, oh, wow, like, I don't need to wait till I'm 65, like, I could retire now. And so, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just, like, that's one of those things you want to instill in your kids early on, is that it's like, if you get used to saving money every month, you're not going to have to worry about when a big, like, you know, problem happens, because you have cash set aside. And I don't think there's anything wrong with buying luxury stuff. Like, I have a buddy named Juan here who, he's my American buddy. and he's a white guy, but he grew up in Mexico till he was 7, so I nicknamed him Juan. Like he makes like easily $6,000 a month or something. He works for the government, and you know, and it's like his whole thing is that he loves to buy the most brand new stuff. He'll buy like clothes or like technology, and he tries it out and he learns all about it, and then he sells it. And in Japan, like it's not like America where you sell it for like half off. Like in America, you can still buy, or I mean in Japan, you can still buy like something used for like only 10% off. And like Japanese people will still buy it, you know? Like, it's really fucking lame. If it's really old, then you could buy it for cheap. But, like, yeah, it's just... and so, like, that's his whole thing. Like, he buys something new, he takes really immaculate good care of it, and then he sells it. So he just paid to rent it pretty much. But, like, that's a lot of micromanaging, you know? You gotta make sure that, like, when I buy something, I want to own it, you know? I want to draw on it. I want to put stickers on it, you know? I want to rub my junk on it. Yeah, just rubbing it. Oh, it feels so good. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the thing that happened, and I don't know. It's like, again, like if you get into the habit of doing that, then you're never gonna really have an issue with that shit, you know. And I don't think a lot of people they understand that, right? And so it's like if you want to have luxury stuff, like, I mean, dude, like, I have a friend, and I don't think he watches these videos, but, so I won't say any details specifically, but he's making way more money than me, and, like, I'm happy for him. Like, you know, part of me, like, is a little bit jealous, but then I see the stuff he spends his money on, and I don't really care, you know? Like, I have a buddy who, like, he went from English teaching to doing other stuff, and now... like he's moved around a lot and he's gained a lot of credentials and he speaks fluent Japanese now, and he's making probably, again, I'm guessing anywhere, because he has like rental properties too, so he's probably making anywhere from I'd say $4,000 to $7,000 a month from like what his lifestyle shows me. And like he was showing me all the stuff that he bought recently, and like but the thing is that he's kind of in the countryside in Japan. He's not super countryside, but he's definitely not near any metropolis, you know? And, like, he just buys new shit all the time. And he just got into collecting something. Again, I gotta be not specific. You know who you are, though. If I'm talking... I don't think he watches these anymore. He used to. I don't think he does anymore. But, like, he bought something new, and it was, like, $1,000. And it's just, like, a piece of media. And I was like, dude, that's like my rent. Like, you spent like 1 month of my rent on this, and it's like, wow, you must have a lot of play around money. And I didn't say that to him. I'm just like, wow, that's like 1 month's rent for me. That's cool. Like that you can afford that. Like, I'm happy for you. But I could tell that he's kind of like, oh yeah, I should probably just talk about affording this stuff to other friends that can afford this. Like I could tell, I could hear I could see the wheels of you know, thought spinning in his head like that. So. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I don't know, that's just, the whole point is, though, it's just, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having, like, if you can afford it, definitely have that expensive hobby, but for me, I want to just, like, I don't need to nest with, like, I mean, I have, like, everything I collect here, my VHS, my gaming stuff, this is all, I got it for cheap, you know, like, if I lost it or whatever, like, I'm not out a lot of money, you know? And, like, you see these game collectors like LGR, and they have, like, a whole basement in a flood area, and it just got flooded, and all their stuff got ruined because of dirty flood water, and I'm like, God, dude, like, that sucks. Like, I have a buddy back in, where is he right now? He's either in Massachusetts or Vermont, one of those white people places, and he has a basement plus a storage unit full of stuff. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like, you just buy shit, because, like, he runs a business, so he can buy all this stuff as, like, a tax write-off, and so, like, you know, he's always buying all this shit, and I'm like, you're not even, like, reading these books, you're not even playing these games, and, but, like, I was just like, dude, like, imagine if, like, a fire or something happens, like, you bought all this shit, you played it for a little bit, and then you just hoarded it. Like, there's no fun. And then, like, his basement almost flooded, like, a pipe burst or something, and luckily he was able to save most of his shit. But it's like, dude, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't see the point in hoarding stuff that I wouldn't be able to use. Like, I like the idea is that, like, if I ever moved to the countryside, I would do it right, you know? I'd get, like, some really cheap-ass property that's a fixer-upper, and, like, I would pay my friends to come out and help me with it, and, you know, and then, like, I would just, like, I'd have, like, a garage, you know, like a little Rick and Morty workshop garage, and I would just fucking learn how to do power tools and fuck around with shit, and I would just, like, live cheap and then just make stupid projects for fun and just share that on, like, Twitch or YouTube. Like, that would be my whole thing. But, you know, I don't know. The whole point is, like, I don't want to use money to, you know, buy stuff to make me happy. I'd rather spend it on experiences. But I know that my lifestyle is not for everybody, but I feel like I can, you know, without having to try to get more money and still keeping this monk kind of style, like, lifestyle, I'm more happy, you know, like, I'm more at peace. And I think a lot of people, when they try to get that much, they're so constantly worried about losing it that they can't really enjoy it, you know? At least from my point of view. I'd like to be wrong. Prove me wrong. Like, if you think I'm wrong, write it in the comment section. But anyway, we're getting to the hour point here, and I thought I had an audition today, but they said there was 2 types of things, of roles that they wanted me to do, and they said they had canceled one, and I understood that, but now they're saying they were waiting for the feedback for the second one, but they didn't get that, so... But now they're saying, well, we don't think we're going to get it, so I don't know. I thought I was going to go out and do a video, it's a commercial audition, but I guess not. So, anyway, yeah, I'm going to go and just edit videos then, I guess. So, anyway, like always, guys, thank you so much for listening to this. If you like this video, smash the like button. Secret comment of the day is just type a sentence in with a TV audition. Just type that in there to let me to prove to me that you made it this far, and we'll probably do a live stream after this. So I'll put the URL for that down in the chat or whatever. But like always, guys, thanks so much for hanging out here. I love the fact that I can just come here and spiel for an hour on here and just yeah. And don't worry, the bike rants are coming back. I'm still gonna release maybe one a month, and then once I start accumulating more, maybe it'll be twice a month. I want to definitely do more walking videos as well, so we'll see how that works out. And yeah, like always, thanks for watching, guys. You stay black, and I'll see you on the next one. Otsukare-sama deshita. Yeah, buddy.